Have you ever found yourself standing in a crowded room, laughter and conversation filling the air, yet feeling like you don't belong? Or maybe you have hundreds of followers on social media, but no one who truly understands you. Loneliness isn't always about being alone. In fact, you can feel lost even when you're surrounded by friends, colleagues, or family. But why is that? Isn't it true that the more connections we have, the less lonely we should feel? Or is there something deeper happening in our minds that makes us feel disconnected from the world around us? Why do we feel lonely? Even when we're not alone, surrounded by familiar faces, friends, colleagues, even family, yet deep inside, you still feel alone. Strange, isn't it? But the truth is, this feeling is more common than you think, because connection does not always mean understanding. You may know many people, but how many of them truly understand you? Your contact list is full. Your social media followers may number in the hundreds or even thousands. But when you need someone to confide in, how many will actually listen? If no one genuinely cares about your emotions, loneliness will creep in, no matter how many people are physically around you. And ironically, technology, designed to bring people closer, sometimes drives us further apart. With just a tap, you can send a message, make a video call, or comment on someone's post. But have you noticed? The long, heartfelt conversations of the past are now replaced by brief texts, sometimes just a single emoji. Face-to-face meetings are becoming rare, while empty likes on social media take their place. We see each other on screens every day, yet we don't truly know each other. And that's why the more we're online, the emptier we sometimes feel. More than anything, the quality of our relationships determines whether we feel lonely or not. You could have dozens of connections, know countless people, but if those relationships remain surface level, loneliness will continue to follow you. A casual conversation can never replace a heartfelt confession. A polite greeting cannot create a sense of belonging. And a long list of friends doesn't mean you truly have someone to lean on. One of the biggest reasons we feel lonely is the sense of disconnection. You might be surrounded by family, coworkers, and familiar faces, yet if no one truly understands you, if there's no one who shares your values, interests, or life goals, then that feeling of belonging never comes. At that point, loneliness is no longer just a passing emotion. It becomes a constant state, a part of life that feels impossible to escape. But that's not all. Our own expectations of others can also trap us in loneliness. We often wish for someone who instantly understands us, someone who can read our thoughts, sense exactly what we're feeling without us having to say a word. But in reality, true understanding doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, deep conversations, and meaningful connections. And when we don't receive the response we hope for, we tend to withdraw, convincing ourselves that no one truly cares. Then, there's another silent force that fuels loneliness: the rise of individualism in modern society. Today, we are more independent than ever. We chase careers, set personal goals, and strive to become the best versions of ourselves. But often, that comes at a cost. We spend less time nurturing our relationships. Family dinners become rare. Catching up with friends is postponed indefinitely. We tell ourselves that we're busy, that we're building a meaningful life. But one day we look around and realize we've gone so far, so fast, that there's no one truly there beside us anymore. The consequences of prolonged loneliness. Loneliness isn't just a passing emotion. If it lingers for too long, it can have serious consequences on both our mental and physical health. First and foremost, loneliness can lead to psychological issues such as depression, anxiety, and even a deep sense of hopelessness. People who experience prolonged loneliness often withdraw from social interactions, creating a cycle of isolation that only makes things worse. But it doesn't stop there. Loneliness also takes a toll on physical health. Studies have shown that chronically lonely individuals are at a higher risk of developing heart disease, weakened immune systems, and even shorter lifespans. In fact, some researchers compare the effects of loneliness to smoking, as it significantly increases the risk of early mortality. Beyond health, Loneliness affects productivity and everyday life. When people feel disconnected and have no one to share their thoughts with, their motivation and creativity decline. This lack of engagement can lead to difficulty concentrating, lower work performance, and strained relationships, both personally and professionally. How to overcome loneliness. Understanding loneliness is the first step to overcoming it. Not all loneliness is the same. There's temporary loneliness, caused by circumstances like moving to a new place or losing touch with friends. And then there's chronic loneliness, which lingers and negatively impacts our well-being. Recognizing the difference helps us address the root cause instead of just the symptoms. Building meaningful relationships is key. Instead of maintaining shallow connections through social media, focus on those who genuinely care about you. A heartfelt conversation, a face-to-face meetup, these moments create a sense of belonging far more than a few quick text messages ever could. Beyond that, expanding your social circle can help combat loneliness. Join clubs, attend events, or take part in activities that align with your interests. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people naturally fosters deeper connections. And remember, don't wait for others to reach out. Take the first step in creating opportunities to build new friendships. But sometimes, the best way to overcome loneliness is to embrace it. Instead of seeing solitude as something negative, use it as a time to reflect, explore your passions, and invest in personal growth. Learning to enjoy your own company can make you feel more complete, reducing the dependence on external validation for happiness. And finally, limit social media consumption. Scrolling through endless highlight reels of other people's lives can often make loneliness feel even more profound. Instead, shift your focus toward real-life interactions, meet up with friends, engage in meaningful conversations, or simply do something that brings you joy. We weren't born to live in isolation. Every person carries a story, emotions, and experiences that deserve to be shared, to be heard. Maybe today you're feeling lonely, but somewhere out there, someone else might be waiting for a message, a conversation, a genuine connection from you. So, what are your thoughts on loneliness? Have you ever felt alone even when surrounded by others? And more importantly, what did you do to overcome it? Share your thoughts in the comments, because what you say might just help someone else find the connection they've been searching for. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to spread this message to more people. Because no matter how lonely we may feel at times, someone out there is always willing to listen. You are never truly alone.